I'd like to tell you the first time I felt enclosed by walls. I'm at a friend's birthday party. We'll call them Brandon. And Brandon has this huge rainbow bouncy castle, multicoloured bouncy castle sitting in the centre of their garden, towering above the garden fences. It's huge, it's massive, and all the kids are going absolutely wild at the sight of it, me included. And so we're there and we're bouncing on it and we're having such a great time. And then all of a sudden I start to notice the castle starts to deflate. And what's happened is because of everyone bouncing on it, the tube of the air pump has come unstuck. And so all the castle starts to deflate around us. And one by one, the kids start noticing, and so they all start panic bouncing their way to freedom. But I'm stood there watching as the walls start closing in on me, and I'm scared and I don't move. And I'm terrified. I'm terrified because I know at that moment that my mum is going to have to come and rescue me. I'm afraid of walls that I can't control the construction of, because I fear that I won't be able to travel or go anywhere. And I do like to go places. I love to visit amazing places with my partner. And I fear this possibility because the idea of being contained, and I don't like being contained, but the idea of it makes me feel uncomfortable. Back in time again. I want you all to imagine that we are in Berlin. We are at the Berlin Wall. It's 1962. That's 1 year after the wall has been constructed. And there are searchlights and guard towers dotted at various points. And the entirety of West Berlin is in lockdown. And there is a young teenager. His name is Peter. And Peter, he wants to be free, but there is a wall stopping him being able to do so. And so he and his friend Alexander wait for an opportunity to run across the 160-yard death strip and vault both sets of concrete walls. With the lights pointed elsewhere, they dash out of the window and they vault the first wall. And they're running, and they're running, and they're running, and they're running, and Alexander first jumps, climbs, and goes over the top of the second wall. And Peter, he jumps, climbs, and bang! A bullet flies and hits Peter in the pelvis. He drops from the wall with a thud, and soldiers from the west and east Berlin sides are looking onward. The West Berlin police want to help Peter, but due to the restriction of passage, if they were to give Peter aid, they would be shot. And so instead, they throw bandages. They throw tons of bandages at him, and he just lays there, unable to reach them, unable to help himself. And after an hour, he dies, along with his hope of climbing the wall. And it still feels weird, but it feels okay because it's a thing of the past and it's a thing we've moved beyond. And I feel lucky enough to live in a time of peace and freedom. Don't I? Or do I? When I first learned about the story of Peter, I was 18 years old, the same age he was when he died. And more walls have been created since the fall of the Berlin Wall than at any other time. And at the borders of Bangladesh, there is a 24-hourly manned security fence that runs around the entire country, manned by personnel and anti-personnel vehicles and searchlights. And this stops anyone going out of the country into India. And there is a migrancy. There is a migrancy in the country perpetrated by climate change and the rising sea levels. In the years to come, there won't be any more space for these people to live in. And in China, restrictions have been placed on search engines related to the Tiananmen Square massacre. But it feels okay because it's all out there, isn't it? I go to my granddad's house. He lives in the suburbs of Nottingham in a place called Strelly. I walk in and he's sat at the other end of the room in a red leather armchair. And we do the usual pleasantries. Hello, Grandad.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Good. How's work?
Yeah, all fine, thanks.
And are you still doing all that theatre stuff?
Yes, I am, yeah.
What do you think of that there Boris Johnson?
I can't believe he's still in.
I think he'll do right by the country, I reckon. Get Brexit done.
He's a bit of a prick, Grandad.
He says what he means. Brexit means Brexit.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Yes, it does. We want our country back. It's never been the same since we joined the EU.
I think it'd be worse.
This country will be fine, whether we leave with a deal or not.
I don't think it will. And gradually, and suddenly, both at once, there's no air in the room. And the shutters have come down between us both. This isn't a show about Brexit, but I couldn't say anymore, and my granddad was the same. There was a wall that had come between us, between families, through living rooms. And gradually, suddenly, both at once, all these new walls weren't just out there anymore.